Hi, first graders. Welcome back for Writer's Workshop. You did a wonderful job yesterday with your drafting with all of our reasons for why we are trying to persuade someone that they should eat apples every day and that apples are a healthy snack. Our goal for today is to revise and edit. When we are revising, we are making changes to improve our writing. So today we are going to be looking for places in our drafting where we can add details. We can remove unnecessary things that don't need to be there. We can move parts around if we didn't get them in the correct order, and we can substitute some just okay sounding words to make them more exciting sounding words. For example, some place where we can add some details is when we're talking about the different kinds of apples. We said that they are just plain yummy. We can talk about different ways that we can use apples. I remember reading in our research that you can have apple sauce, you can make apple pie with it, you can make apple juice, you can eat apple cobbler, you can just eat a plain apple. So there's lots of areas that we could add some details in there. We can substitute some words too and say things like crispy apples or that they were crunchy. We can talk about what colors they are. Those are all kinds of things that will improve our writing. They will give our readers a better brain picture of what we are talking about and just make it more interesting for the reader to listen to. So that will be your first job today, is to go through and find places where you can make changes to improve your writing. I think your goal should be to find 3 places where you can make changes and improve your writing so that it can be the best that it can be. When you are finished with your revising, our next step that we're going to do today is called editing. Editing is when we can proofread and correct my mistakes. First thing you're going to want to look for is that every sentence is starting with a capital letter. I tell my first graders, unless you're using a proper noun, that should be the only capital letters I'm seeing at the beginning of each sentence. Where should your capital letter be? Yes, at the beginning of the sentence. Next, you'll want to go through and look for usage. I teach my first graders that that's where you want to go through and read things out loud to yourself to make sure that it sounds correct and that you are using your words correctly. Sometimes when you are writing, you think that you've written something a certain way, and then when you go back and read it out loud, you realize it's not how you wanted it to sound. So go back through, read it out loud, and make sure you have the correct usage, that it's sounding how you want it to sound. The next step is to look for punctuation. You want to make sure at the end of each sentence that you have completed your thought. You will do that by adding a punctuation mark. Most of the time we will use periods as our punctuation mark because we are completing a statement. Sometimes, if it is something that is very exciting, you will use an exclamation point. And if you are asking a question, which we did not do in this draft, but if you are asking a question, you would use a question mark. The last thing that you're going to check for is spelling. I tell my first graders here that they just do their best to sound out their words, stretch their sounds like we do during our Rockstar Reader, and to spell words the best way that they can. That will be your next step today. First, you're going to do revising to make changes to improve your writing and make it sound the best that it can be. Then you're going to want to go back through your draft and make sure that you have proofread, read it out loud, and correct any mistakes that you find. When you are finished, make sure that you post your updated draft with your revisements and your edits so that your teacher can see all of your hard work. Tomorrow when we come back, we will get to publish all of our hard work. Have a great night, first graders. We'll see you tomorrow.